The Eternal One appeared to Abraham by the oaks of Mamre, as he was sitting at the entrance to his tent. It was the hottest part of the day. He looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby. So, he hurried from the tent and bowed down before them. He pleaded, "Lord, if it pleases you, stay a while with your servant. I will provide a little water so you can wash your feet. I will also provide food and a place for you to rest, since your journey has passed my way." They replied, "Very well, do that." Abraham rushed inside the tent and said to Sarah, "Hurry, get 3 cups of our best flour and make some bread." Then he ran to the herd and chose an excellent quality, fat calf, and gave it to one of the servants, who prepared it. Next, he brought curds and milk to accompany the roasted calf, set the meal before the men, and stood under the tree while they ate. The men asked, "Where is Sarah, your wife?" He replied, "She is inside the tent." Then one of them said, "I will return next year around this time. When I arrive, your wife Sarah will have a son." Sarah was listening to everything from inside the tent, right behind the man. Abraham and Sarah were old, quite advanced in age. Sarah had long passed the time of childbearing. So she laughed to herself and said, "An old woman like me, get pregnant, and with an old husband like this?" But the Eternal One said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh? For she said, 'Me have a baby, an old woman like me?' Is anything too difficult for the Eternal One? I will return next year at this same time, and Sarah will have a baby." Sarah was afraid and lied to him. "I did not laugh." But he said, "Yes, you did laugh." The men got up to leave and started walking in the direction of Sodom. Abraham accompanied them to see them off. Then the Eternal One said, "Would it be fair to hide from Abraham what I am about to do? He will become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the world will be blessed through him. I have chosen him so that he may teach his children and his future family to walk in the ways of the Eternal One, to be good, generous, and just, so that the Eternal One may fulfill what he promised him." The Eternal One continued, "The cries of the victims in Sodom and Gomorrah are deafening. The sin of these cities is gigantic. I will go down to see for myself if what they are doing is as wicked as it seems. Then I will know." The men headed toward Sodom, but Abraham stood in the Eternal One's path, blocking the way. Then Abraham confronted him and questioned, "Are you serious? Are you really planning to sweep away the righteous along with the wicked? What if there are 50 decent people in the city? Will you lump the good with the wicked and get rid of everyone? Would you not spare the city for the sake of those 50 innocent people? I do not believe you would do this, to kill the good with the wicked, as if there were no difference between them. Will the judge of all the earth not judge justly?" The Eternal One answered, "If I find 50 decent people in Sodom, I will spare the entire city for their sake." Abraham spoke again, "I, a mere mortal made of a handful of dust, dare to open my mouth and still ask my Lord, what if 5 are missing from the 50? Will you destroy the city because of the missing 5? He replied, "I will not destroy it if there are 45 decent people there." Abraham insisted, "What if you only find 40? I will not destroy the city for the sake of the 40 either." Abraham continued, "Lord, do not be angry with me, but what if you only find 30? If I find 30, I will not destroy the city." Abraham did not give up. "Lord, I know I am testing your patience, but what if there are only 20? I will not destroy it for the sake of the 20. Abraham asked further, "Lord, do not be furious. This is the last time I ask. What if there are only 10? I will not destroy the city for the sake of the 10 people." The Eternal One finished the conversation with Abraham and left. Abraham went home. The 2 angels arrived at Sodom in the evening. Lot was sitting at the city gate. He saw them and got up to welcome them, bowing before them and said, "Please, my friends, come to my house and stay the night. Wash up, you can rise early and be on your way refreshed." They said, "No, we'll sleep in the street." But he insisted, wouldn't take no for an answer, and they relented and went home with him. Lot fixed a hot meal for them and they ate. Before they went to bed, men from all over the city of Sodom, young and old, descended on the house from all sides and boxed them in. They yelled to Lot, "Where are the men who are staying with you for the night? Bring them out so we can have our sport with them." Lot went out, barring the door behind him, and said, "Brothers, please don't be vile. Look, I have 2 daughters, virgins. Let me bring them out. You can take your pleasure with them, but don't touch these men. They're my guests." They said, "Get lost. You drop in from nowhere and now you're going to tell us how to run our lives? We'll treat you worse than them." And they charged past Lot to break down the door. But the two men reached out and pulled Lot inside the house, locking the door. Then they struck blind the men who were trying to break down the door, both leaders and followers, leaving them groping in the dark. The two men said to Lot, "Do you have any other family here? Sons, daughters, anybody in the city? Get them out of here and now. We're going to destroy this place. The outcries of victims here to God are deafening. We've been sent to blast this place into oblivion." Lot went out and warned his daughter's fiancés, "Get out of here, God is going to destroy the city." But they took him for a fool. At break of day, the angels pushed Lot to get going. "Hurry, get your wife and 2 daughters out of here before it's too late, and you're caught in the punishment of the city." Lot was dragging his feet. So the men grabbed Lot's arm and the arms of his wife and daughters. God was so merciful to them, and dragged them to safety outside the city. When they had them outside, Lot was told, "Now run for your life, don't look back. Don't stop anywhere in the valley, but run to the hills or you'll be swept away." But Lot complained, "Oh, not the hills, please, my master. I know how kind you've been to me, and you've done me a great favor by saving my life, but I can't run to the hills. Disaster may overtake me in the hills and I'll die. Look, that little town is close by, it's a little one. Let me escape there, my life will be saved. It's only a small area just off the road." "All right, Lot," he said. "I'll grant you this favor also. I won't destroy the city you speak of. Hurry, get there fast. I can't do anything until you get there." That is why the city was named Zoar, small town. When Lot arrived at Zoar, the sun was bright in the sky. Then God rained fire and sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah, a river of lava from God out of the sky, and destroyed the cities and the entire plain, killing everyone who lived there and everything that grew out of the ground. But Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. Abraham got up early the next morning and went to the place where he had met with God before. He looked down on Sodom and Gomorrah, observing the entire plain, and saw only smoke rising from the land, like smoke from a furnace. And this is what happened. When God destroyed the cities of the plain, God remembered Abraham and rescued Lot from the destruction of the cities where Lot had lived. Lot left Zoar and went to live with his 2 daughters in the mountains. He was afraid to stay in Zoar, so he and his 2 daughters lived in a cave. One day the older daughter said to the younger, "Our father is getting old, and there's not a man left in the country by whom we can get pregnant. Let's get our father drunk with wine and lie with him. We'll get children through our father. It's our only chance to keep our family alive." So that night they got their father drunk with wine. The older daughter went in and slept with her father, but Lot was oblivious, knowing nothing of what she did. The next morning the older daughter said to the younger, "I slept with my father last night. Tonight it's your turn. We'll get him drunk again, and then you sleep with him. We'll both get a child through our father and keep our family alive." So that night they got their father drunk again, and the younger went in and slept with him. Again he was oblivious, knowing nothing of what she did. The 2 sisters got pregnant by their father Lot. The older had a son and named him Moab. He is the ancestor of the Moabites of today. The younger also had a son and named him Ben-Ami. He is the ancestor of the Ammonites of today. Abraham left there and traveled south toward the Negev, settling between Kadesh and Shur. While he was camping in Gerar, Abraham said about Sarah, "She's my sister." So Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. But that night God came to Abimelech in a dream and warned him, "You're a dead man, the woman you took is married." Now Abimelech hadn't slept with her, hadn't even touched her. He said, "Master, would you kill an innocent people? Didn't he tell me, 'She's my sister'? And didn't she also say, 'He's my brother'? I had no idea I was doing anything wrong." God said to him in the dream, "I know that your intentions were pure. That's why I didn't let you sin against me. I kept you from sleeping with her. Now give the man his wife back. He is a prophet and will pray for you and intercede for your life. If you don't give her back, know that you and everyone in your family will die." Abimelech got up early that morning, called all his staff, and told them the whole story, hiding nothing. They were shocked. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said, "What have you done to us? Have I done anything to offend you that you would bring such a great offense on me and my kingdom? What you did is intolerable." And Abimelech continued, What were you thinking when you did this?" Abraham said, "I thought, there's no fear of God in this place, they'll kill me to get my wife. Besides, the truth is, she is my sister. She's my father's daughter. When God sent me wandering from my father's family, I told her, 'Do me a favor. Wherever we go, tell people that I'm your brother.'" Abimelech gave Sarah back to Abraham with a gift: sheep, cattle, and slaves, men and women. He also said to him, "My land is at your disposal. Settle down, wherever you wish." And to Sarah he said, "I've given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. That takes care of any charges against you in the eyes of the world. It's my way of making amends to you." After that, Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his slave women. They started having children again, because God had closed the wombs of every woman in Abimelech's household on account of Sarah, Abraham's wife. O Eterno apareceu a Abraão junto aos carvalhos de Manre, enquanto ele estava sentado à entrada da sua tenda. Era a hora mais quente do dia. Ele olhou e viu 3 homens de pé. Então, saiu apressado da tenda e curvou-se diante deles. Ele pediu: "Senhor, se te agradar, fique um pouco com o teu servo. Vou providenciar um pouco de água para que possas lavar os pés. Também vou providenciar comida e um lugar para descansares, já que teu caminho passou por mim." Eles responderam: "Ótimo, faça isso."